The moon is laughing, it's a crooked grin. Whispers crawling, creeping on my skin. Painted faces, the master cracked. The carousel spins, ain't no turning back. What's real? What's fake? Can you even tell? Step right up to the gates of hell. Round and round the madness flows. Where it stops, nobody knows. Carnival of chaos, welcome in. The freaks, the clowns, let the show begin. Mirrors shadow, reflections fight. Cotton candy clouds in a blood-red night. The tightrope snaps, the crowd just stares. A dance of danger, no one cares. Laughter echoes like a broken bell. A twisted tune, a wicked spell. Your heart beats ticking, time runs thin. In the carnival, no one wins. Round and round the madness flows. Where it stops, nobody knows. Carnival of chaos, welcome in. The freaks, the clowns, let the show begin.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to a Patriots podcast with my special guest tonight, the Skeptical Scotsman, who looks
And
like
we are dual live streaming. So yeah, he's got his, I've got mine.
who looks like fucking Captain Jack Sparrow right now.
Fuck you.
What we're going over tonight is a video that CNN did with one of the most vile and corrupt and fucking everything in the world, Douglas Wilson. Douglas Wilson.
Say, you almost said you. It sounded like you were going to say Trump right there.
Yeah. Douglas Wilson is in charge of the Reformation Church, and if you would like to let people know what the Reformation Church is, Carl, please do so.
I wouldn't call it a Reformation church. I would call it the church of smooth-brained dumbasses who think that we need to go back to the 1920s or 30s familial society where the women stay at home, punch out kids, take care of the man, so to speak, meaning when he wants pussy, you spread your legs. And he goes out, works, does whatever the hell he wants, and when it's time for us to vote on anything, the man gets the legal right to vote, not the woman. Sound about accurate?
Yeah.
And this is the guy that Pete Hegseth goes to church with.
No, he goes to the church that this guy founded. This guy, Douglas Wilson, founded the Reformation Church, which he calls Christ Church, which started in Moscow, and he wants to take the entire town of Moscow over.
Russia, Moscow, Florida,
Idaho.
Moscow, what? See, you're not giving context.
Hey, Moscow, Idaho. He started the church there in Moscow, Idaho, and he's trying to take the entire town over. Just about every business there in Moscow is run by somebody that goes to his church.
Uh-huh.
You can't make good omelets with rotten eggs. It doesn't matter how good the recipe is. It doesn't matter how good the kitchen is. It doesn't matter how good the cook is. If people aren't walking with God, then it's going to come out bad.
What would have happened if your kids didn't want to follow you?
So this was something, again, that my dad learned from the Apostle Paul, but there were 4 of us growing up in my dad's household, and we all knew that if any one of us walked away from the faith, my dad would step down from ministry.
So you just living as a practicing Christian isn't enough for you?
It's not enough, no.
What does that look like, though, in America ruled by Christ, which is what you want?
Yeah. Well, the most noticeable things
called a theocracy.
Right out of the gate would be things that aren't going on anymore. We wouldn't have Clown World. We wouldn't have drag queen story hours. We wouldn't have pride
whoa,
parades.
whoa,
We
whoa,
wouldn't
whoa,
have
whoa, whoa.
abortion on demand.
Stop.
Okay.
We wouldn't have drag queens doing story time. When the fuck was the last time you heard of that?
The only time I've ever heard of that was under the Biden administration. But yeah, I know he didn't do nothing like that. But that was the rumor.
No, it started that actually started under Trump's administration.
Oh wow. The first one,
Do
right?
you not recall? Yeah, the first Trump administration. How
Yes,
do you
I
not
do.
know? How do you? I was
Yes,
going
I
to say,
do.
how do you not remember that?
Yes, I do recall. I do recall that, and it went on over into the Biden administration.
And assholes like this were it's gonna poison our children to turn gay. Should I beat the shit out of you with a brick? I'm sorry, if watching a drag queen turns you gay, maybe you were hardwired before that. And then all of a sudden, everything else he's talking about, go back like 10 seconds.
Okay.
I was going to say, you can double click on the thing and it'll
As
go
a
back 10
practicing
seconds.
Christian isn't enough for you.
It's not enough. No.
What
And
does
that's
that look
the
like,
other
though,
mistake.
in America ruled
Practicing
by Christ,
Christian.
which is what you want?
Yeah. Well, the most noticeable things right out of the gate would be things that aren't going on anymore. We wouldn't have Clown World. We wouldn't have drag queen story hours.
World.
We wouldn't have pride parades. We wouldn't have abortion on demand. Those things would be gone.
Man, you're just like
and that would
comfortable
be, boy, this is different.
watching it without stopping on
the
any
thing that
points.
a lot of the people in the
Okay, go ahead. I don't know what he means by
rewind it
clown
10
world.
seconds.
I did rewind it 10 seconds.
I know, and then you wouldn't stop playing it. We're here to have a conversation.
Yes.
But you just wanting to watch the fucking video means you're not wanting to discuss anything.
Okay.
You're just okay with playing it.
What did he mean by clown world?
How the fuck? I was going to ask you, what the fuck does he mean by clown world?
The only
I'm
thing
sorry, the biggest clown is his ass.
Yeah, the only thing I can think what he means by clown world is what he mentioned after that. The drag queen story hour, the pride parades, and basically
pride parades are for they're just like Black Pride parades, if you will. I wouldn't call them Black Pride, but like Juneteenth parades or something.
Yeah,
something to celebrate that culture. The LGBT community has their own has a pride parade to accentuate their cultural differences with. Same fucking thing as Cinco de Mayo or Juneteenth or 4th of July, which is 4th of July should stand for all of us, but it's pretty much turned into if you're not a fucking Republican, redneck, conservative, religious fucker, you ain't invited to the cookout. I'm sorry, Cletus, but you need more than 3 teeth to celebrate some shit like that. But yeah, when he's saying abortions on demand, this motherfucker is too old to even have kids.
Yeah, he has kids.
His kids had better be fully fucking grown. All of his children have to be 30 for him to have an opinion on any fucking thing. If he has anything under a 30-year-old, the fuck were you doing having kids that late in life?
His kids
He's a
are
Christian
actually
nationalist purist.
Yeah, and his
men are
kids
men, women are women, and you can't just practice it. You have to fucking beat it out of everybody. He's that kind of preacher.
And his kids are actually right below him, as far as the hierarchy of the Christ Church and the Reformation Church.
Meaning, because his penis made them, he has dominion over them. Correct?
Correct.
Yeah. See, we're gonna have some theological points of interpretation here.
Yeah.
As of now, so. We got to the abortion on demand.
Yeah.
Middle, let's call them normies, people who are they're not particularly theological, and they're not hard left either. They're just I just want to live a normal life. Is that so wrong? The last 5 years has really unsettled them a great deal, because Clown World is not a livable place to bring up kids. It's just not.
Right there.
Clown World is not a livable place to bring up children. You know how many fucking parents who are gay or lesbian, which is pretty much the same thing, how many of them have children?
Quite a few.
And they're turning out more stable, more level-headed, more emotionally mature than, like, say, our children.
Yeah.
In general, not my kid specifically. My kid has her own growing pains, as does yours.
Yeah.
But does he have the right to say that these cause that drag shows affect children that way? Is there any scientific and psychological proof that proves his theory just now?
No.
And I don't know how many people we have watching live at all. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I told you you're going to want to scream at your freaking computer screen.
Oh, we're only in the first, what? What are we in the first, like, 5 minutes?
Yep.
Oh, give me a minute and 37 seconds.
Yep.
And a lot of the recoil or the reaction that has happened, and a lot of the reason we're getting the attention we're getting, is people are hungry for answers that don't just whitewash it, or that don't sugarcoat it. And as I'm fond of saying, it's Christ or chaos. And
Christ or chaos.
What the fuck does he mean? It's got to be his way or the highway?
I'll go back 10 seconds.
the reason we're getting the attention we're getting is people are hungry for answers that don't just whitewash.
Whitewash.
They're not looking. They're not looking for fucking answers. The people I believe he's referring to are the pro-Trump people who are, well, we want the 1930s back because we're fucking white and we deserve to be fucking rich and somebody's stopping us. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, idiot?
No, he's talking about the people in the middle. He's calling them normies. He thinks the normies are tired of the whitewashing and they want answers and da-da-da-da-da.
And who the fuck whitewashes everything? That right there whitewashes everything because, well, being an actionable Christian isn't enough. No, he wants to stone anything that doesn't look like him that's practicing Christianity. Let's boil it down to that. If you don't look and act and think like him, fuck you, slit your wrist, hang you, or fucking kill you, right?
Yep.
This is an assault. This asshole's an assault.
Yeah.
On Americanism because of his Christian nationalist views. Keep
Christ
going.
or chaos. And people say, yeah, looking around, that seems to be the case. And
so you're seeing a big expansion in
go back like
membership
5 seconds.
Okay.
The reason we're getting the attention.
Okay, go ahead.
Attention we're getting is people are.
You want to talk about the whitewashing, right?
No, I said go back 5 seconds, and then you're like, okay, no, I've said go back 5 seconds. That was because he garbled what he was saying.
Answers that don't just whitewash it, or don't sugarcoat it. And as I'm fond of saying, it's Christ or chaos. And people say, yeah, looking around, that seems to be the case. And
so you're seeing a big expansion in
yeah, I know. I think it's their
internet?
feed. No, I got I've only got one freaking two windows open, and that's one.
Your camera went blank first, then that one, and then mine.
Oh wow!
I'm just telling you what you need to know. Okay. I'm not criticizing you. I'm just telling you what's going on with the internet. Okay, let's go.
Membership in these last few years, really since COVID, right?
Yes, since 2019, our church community here has doubled in size. And during the height of COVID,
We didn't hear a
it was like
fucking word of that, dude.
that seems to be the case.
Okay.
So you're seeing a big expansion in membership in these last few years, really since COVID, right?
Yes, since 2019, our church community here has doubled in size. And during the height of COVID, it was like a refugee column, people moving here, chased here by blue state governors, chased here by COVID restrictions.
Where is this guy based out of?
Moscow, Idaho, which
Okay,
is a
so
red
he's
state.
He's based in Moscow, Idaho,
hmm
a red state, and people flocked there during COVID because it was a simple. Idaho is not that advanced a state. They're not like you go to the most technologically advanced part of Idaho,
hmm
and it doesn't even compare to our Wichita, Kansas' standard. They're below us, the entire state.
Oh wow.
Dude, they're mountains and potatoes. And you'll have to give me a moment. I need to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
So I'll be back. You just hold off on the video. But yeah, he's claiming that they're being brought here by Democratic governors, blue state governors, even though blue states pay more in taxes, and in the government, Congress gives the red states more money because of that, because red states are historically low earners when it comes to taxation.
Yes,
Well,
you're
taxation.
correct there.
No. You don't. You want to fucking give all the shit to red states because you're afraid that if anybody found out that blue states are supporting everybody, you'd all be fucked. Talk on that for a minute. I promise I won't be more than 30 seconds.
Okay. Yeah, it just goes to show you exactly what we are dealing with in this country today. People like Douglas Wilson, who feels that if you're not a Christian, then you don't matter.
Well, if you're not a white Christian, for that matter.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I really had to pee. I drank like 2 huge bottles of water that are like a quart and a half.
Oh wow.
And then I'm drinking beer. So yeah, my bladder's kind of like, holy shit, I've been holding off for like 15 minutes. But let's go. Let's see what the next point of contention is.
Chased here by pastors and elders who flaked on them, who closed their church down, and
What?
people. A lot of Christians were discovering.
What? What
Flaked
the
on-
fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, he's talking about states during the shutdown who shut down churches.
Let's course correct and say what actually happened, because
Okay.
we were there.
Yeah.
Were any churches here shut down?
No.
Were any churches across the nation shut down?
No. All they asked was that fewer people come to church and you wear a mask. That's it.
And he and his ilk took that as, don't come to church. We don't want you here. No, it said, be fucking mindful of other people, you fucking retards. And they took that as, you don't want me to come to church. You're shutting down. No. Churches were well-known super spreader events for COVID-19.
Correct.
He's one of them assholes who think, well, if we can't go to church, we're all going to go to hell. Now you can continue.
That they did not have the Christian leadership that they thought they had.
What?
They thought shepherds were supposed to protect the sheep, and when
I heard the what?
Shepherds are supposed to turn. I want to hear the rest of this quote.
Okay.
Pressure came. It didn't happen.
Would you
What church
define
shut
yourself as a
down?
Christian nationalist?
Yes.
And how
But
do you
most,
define?
I don't know of any churches shut down during the pandemic.
What church
Maybe.
shut down? Every church was open.
Now I know in California they had a lot. They had a lot of churches shut down but like you said, that was a super spreader event, and Gavin Newsom didn't want more people getting sick.
And following basic health guidelines would tell you not
Yes.
to get collect in mass.
Yeah.
Especially considering most of the population that goes to church is the elderly or religiously devout, if you will.
Yeah.
Find that.
well, mostly because I much prefer it to the names I usually get called.
How do you define that? Is it you
Well-
are a Christian and you want this nation to be a Christian
Yeah,
nation?
I'm a Christian, and I'm an American who loves this country.
Mhm.
So put those two things together, and since I believe that my Christianity is not something that is to be believed by me behind my eyes and between my ears, it's a public.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
I don't know. I think he's getting ready to explain it.
Truth.
What do you say to people of different faiths all over the world who
Well, I'd
don't
say,
believe that and have a different God, a different understanding of life and how we all came here?
yeah, I would say let's have a Bible study. Let's talk about it. Depending on what they've heard, I would want to assure them that the fact that we differ over who God is or differ over ultimate reality does not give me warrant to persecute you. So
That's
we're
exactly
gonna
what you're
talk-
saying, though.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's exactly what he's saying. He's saying, well, let's open a Bible, not the Quran, not the Hebrew Bible, none of these other Bibles. It's let's open my Bible and discuss it.
about this, because the Christian faith does not advance by the sword. The Christian faith advances by
That's
preaching
what you're
the
turning
sword of the
into.
Spirit.
The sword.
The sword of the Spirit.
Yep.
A sword can still
Plenty of
cut, you
churches
dumbass.
preaching.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't cut by the sword. Bullshit.
Keep going.
Declaring, etc. So I'd want to visit with them. I'd want to imitate what the Apostle Paul did all through the book of Acts. He comes to Athens and he preaches Christ and the resurrection to a city full of idolaters, but he doesn't mount a military campaign.
What would you say to
He doesn't-
historic scholars who
Go ahead.
He doesn't mount a military campaign.
Yeah.
How is Pete Hegseth not weaponizing the country for Christianity?
He is.
So we don't do it with a sword. Bullshit. You do it with guns. Same thing as a sword in this case. Keep
Yeah.
going.
say America was not founded as a Christian nation?
I would have fun with them.
Don't you think if the framers had the same vision as you, that this is a Christian
Did you
nation?
hear what he said right there, or what she said? Listen.
Did all through the book of Acts. He comes to Athens.
Listen to her.
and he
Listen to her
preaches
question.
Christ and the resurrection to a city full of idolaters, but he doesn't mount a military campaign.
What would you say to historic scholars who say America was not founded as a Christian nation?
I would have fun with them.
Don't you
Hear that?
Yeah, I heard it.
Your thoughts?
You remember when I read the Constitution on one of my podcasts? Yes?
Yes.
There's a separation of church and religion for religious freedom for everybody, not just for his kind.
Yeah. Separation of church and state.
Yeah, and we also have a thing stating, our freedom of religion is stating that they can practice their religions, and there's no law to be made with exemption for any particular religion. But
Correct.
he's pushing for that.
Yes.
Okay, let's keep going.
I think if the framers had the same vision as you, that this is a Christian nation, that they would have made that explicit in the Constitution and not have put in the Establishment Clause and the prohibition of religious tests for office holders, that they would have made it explicit
Yeah,
in
it
the
was explicit.
documents.
The
You
federal
think it
government,
was- you
the
think it
federal
was
government
explicit?
may not have a Church of the United States, like the Church of England, the Church of Denmark is the Lutheran Church. They have flat prohibited a Church of the United States, and they flat prohibited religious tests for office at the federal level.
Thomas Jefferson, for his part, was a big proponent of religious liberty.
Right.
It was one of his big accomplishments. It's on his gravestone.
He doesn't like what she's saying. You can tell.
He hates it because she's schooling him and he's trying to be the alpha male religiously, which is a very weak thing to stand on.
Yes.
Because she's pointing out fact, she's pointing out where in the Constitution it says that, and it does not appear yet that he has a rebut for that. So let's keep going.
That he had this religious liberty law passed in Virginia.
Yeah.
So what would you say to historic scholars who would point to that and say the framers of this country did not mean for this to be a Christian nation? They meant for it to be a nation where people can exercise their religion freely, no matter what that religion
Right.
is.
First, I would invite these
No, that's why
historic scholars in the most friendly way possible to have a public debate on the subject. I think I don't want to, King Ahab in the Old Testament says, let not him who puts on his armor boast like him who takes it off. But I think I would do okay. And I think I would do okay.
Go back
because
like
I'd be
5
able to point-
seconds. Most of that was
Okay.
blurted out.
Okay.
First, I would invite these historic scholars in the most friendly way possible to have a public debate on the subject. I think I don't want to, King Ahab in the Old Testament says, let not him who puts on his armor boast like him who takes it off. But I think I would do okay. And I think I would do okay because I'd be able to point to the primary documents as well.
How would a Muslim or a Mormon or even a Catholic fit into your version of a Christian nation?
Yeah. So one of the reasons we have such problems with assimilating Muslims and all these different Hindus is that there are so many of them, right? So if we had a Christian republic and a Muslim came to Disneyland with his family, we have no problems. But when they fill up Dearborn, Michigan, that's just not. You can. It says in Amos 3:3, can two walk together except they be agreed?
I think what he's trying to say right there is we need to get the Muslims out of the United States.
I think what he's trying to say, and I'm going to be contrary to your opinion, as long as we agree that I'm right, they're okay. It seems like a narcissistic view on religion. As long you can believe whatever the hell you want, as long as we agree that I'm right and that you don't backtalk me as far as religion. That's what I'm getting out of it. But
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. Just like when she asked him about Muslims coming to Disneyland in a Christian republic, he goes, "Oh, we'll get along just fine."
they don't believe in the same God. They don't believe in the same
put
God.
alien worldviews together, cheek by jowl, and have peace, right? So basically,
Yes,
I think
you can.
a lot of the religious turmoil that we have, the clashes that we would have, could be addressed by a sane immigration policy, not a policy that tries to regulate.
That's fucked up.
Told you,
Straight up
deportation.
saying, if you don't believe what we believe and you don't agree that it's right, get the fuck out of here. If you don't believe in our God and our Bible, fuck off, and we don't want you here. How is that not Christian nationalism and, in fact, almost Nazism?
You got a point there. This guy we're watching is like one of the biggest Christian nationalists here in the United States. And he's basically trying to influence the federal government because Pete Hegseth just started this guy's church. in Washington, D.C.
And this is a guy who influences directly Pete Hegseth.
Yes, and Pete Hegseth has come out and openly embraced this guy Douglas Wilson for opening his eyes to what it is to be an actual Christian.
By embracing Christian-only values and sentiments and theology. But let's keep going.
What people can say or do in their religious convictions while here.
So the foundation for you is you believe this is a Christian nation,
Right.
despite the debate from historic scholars.
Exactly. But notice that when the Muslim says to me, "Who are you to say?" I can say, "All right, we have to live together. Who are you to say which way it should go?" And then the secularist comes in and says, "Let's do it this way." And Muslim and I would both turn to him and say, "And who are you to say?"
So you feel like we can't have a functioning society
Yeah, we can't.
without.
No, you
And
can.
look at our society.
The bitch is you have to have respect for one another's beliefs. If I'm talking to a Christian nationalist and they say this is the only way it can be, and then the Muslim comes up and says no, this is the only way it can be, and I'm like, hey, we can all get along if we follow this template of respect and mutual disagreement through civil discourse. We don't have to like what each other thinks.
Yeah,
We don't have to believe in what each other believes in, but we have enough respect to talk about it in a civil manner. And he's missing that. He wants it to be, well, I want it to be this way, and the Muslims want it to be this way, and the third guy wants
secularism, basically.
The third guy wants to do it this way, and they're both diametrically opposed to it because they don't get to air their religious grievances, which is what they originally want to do anyway. Is air their religious grievances, that way they feel heard, they feel validated, and they feel like the top dog in the room. But let's continue.
Basically,
Currently not functioning.
Do you believe that secular society is basically a religion of its own that is the antithesis of your
Correct.
Christianity?
Secularism is a religious faith, religious commitment. Remember what I said about if there is no God above the state is God.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if that's the case for the secularist, and I believe it is, and it's a religious level commitment, then who's in charge of the current secular God?
And how much is your post-millennialism belief driving all of this?
Great deal of it, yes.
Tell our viewers about that, what that is.
Most American evangelicals are premillennial, meaning that they believe everything's falling apart. And when things get really bad, the Antichrist is going to take over, and then Jesus will come again and save us from all that. But it's a pretty grim view of human history between now and...
I heard a laugh.
Oh. He says pre-millennial.
Yeah.
Let's define pre-millennial for the viewers at home.
They believe in the end of days.
Let's define pre-millennial. Who is in that group? This is generational talk now.
Premillennial is what Gen X I know is comes premillennial before the actual millennials. But what he's talking about is the end of days, basically. With some.
Okay, let me stimulate your brain a little bit. Let me tickle a neuron here.
Okay.
Premillennial means anybody who was born before the millennials, which is 1981. You're talking Gen X and boomers.
Yep.
And who populates the churches right now?
Boomers.
And because so many drug-addled millennials decided to fuck off with drugs, now you've got boomers and Gen X raising their children or grandchildren or great-grandchildren.
Yeah.
In this biblical fashionista sense.
Yep.
So they're being brainwashed by the same fire and brimstone preaching that happened for the boomers in their childhood, which is way the fuck back to like the 1940s.
Yep.
So let's keep on going.
Oh, you're just loving this guy, ain't you?
Oh, I'd tear the shit out of this dude's asshole. He would be begging the devil to pull the dick out of his, to pull the massive 4-foot dildo out of his ass.
The end. That's the premillennial understanding. A postmillennialist is someone who believes that the gospel is going to be victorious in the world. The nations will, in fact, be discipled.
And you have said, I don't have a
Okay,
direct
you got to
pipeline
back
Pete
up like
Hegseth.
5 seconds
But
here.
don't you think
Okay.
your influence?
It bubbled out before I could hear any of it.
It's a pretty grim view of human history between now and the end. That's the premillennial understanding. A postmillennialist is someone who believes that the gospel is going to be victorious in the world. The nations will, in fact, be discipled.
And you have said, I don't have a direct pipeline to Pete Hegseth.
Right.
But don't
That's
you think
bull.
your influence is having an impact right now?
I hope so. I write books, and I don't write
Pete
and
Hegseth.
publish books to launch them into the.
Pete Hegseth has personally named this guy,
Mhm.
as has every major news outlet who's caught on to his church and Pete Hegseth's blind following of this guy. So he actually does have direct influence over Pete Hegseth because he's promoting this alpha male bullshit.
Yeah. And this guy right here, no one, I'll show you another about 7-minute video after this one's over. No one in his church, if you want to become like, say, a bishop or a deacon, or you cannot be a woman. Everyone in every position in his church is male dominated.
Again, misogyny.
And every woman in his church is subservient to her husband.
That's on them. It's kind of like how the relationship between you and your wife started, where she was just subservient to you.
Yeah.
You give her a little bit of freedom, mind you, she might piss you off with her choices because of her proto-Christian religion, but you still allow her to make decisions on her own, which to him would be fucking wrong. You need to take her when you want her. She needs to serve you, and that's the end of it. You do whatever the fuck you want, but she stays subservient to you. That's what he's going after.
Yep.
Void. I want people to read them and be influenced by them.
Mhm.
And when people read them and are influenced by them and they're in a position to actually do something, it's gratifying. I'm happy about that.
Because for many years, decades, frankly, your views were really seen as fringe.
Yes.
Now,
For decades, your views have been seen as fringe.
Because the of the advancements we've made as a society, like his thing of what is it he said, at will abortions or on the go
Abortions on demand. Yeah, abortions on demand.
Abortions on demand. For him, abortions are totally wrong. Now, mind you, I'm the kind of guy who I don't agree with abortion. I don't. Fundamentally, I don't agree with it because it's not both people agreeing to end a pregnancy. But at the same time, would I tell a woman who got raped that she couldn't get an abortion?
No.
Fuck no. I'm not the one who got raped. If she got raped and said she wanted to get an abortion, I would happily walk her in, fucking punch anybody who has anything to say to her about getting the abortion. Because they have no fucking right. They don't live her life. They're not in her body. That's a decision for the women. Yep. And I don't believe assholes like this should be making that decision for women. Well, I'm smarter. Dude, have you given birth? Have you squeezed a watermelon out of your dick hole? Or, for size comparison, have you squeezed a softball out of your dick? You would die from the pain alone.
Yeah, he probably hasn't.
You see
Not by
them,
me, not by my wife.
not
but-
by you or your wife or your community, but
yes.
they were seen as fringe. Do you now see them becoming more mainstream?
Yes, I do.
No, what he's
they
seen
have
is the
become-
fall of fucking
they've
critical thinking.
Okay, go ahead.
We have seen what we're seeing is not an agreement with him, but a failure on our generation and the millennials and Gen Z of having critical thinking skills.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, I know how to critically think. You have issues with critical thinking, but
Sometimes.
yeah, you have very big problems with critical thinking sometimes. But me, I was raised to question things.
Yes.
Like during COVID, I pointed this out to my daughter. During COVID, when we were all told to wear masks, I told my wife and you that I was going to research the relationship between masks, the
And
holes in
COVID.
the masks, and COVID, the individual bits of COVID, right?
Yeah.
I went out looking to be wrong. You know this. I went out
Yeah.
with the exact antagonistic thesis that I should have. I was looking, okay, COVID should be smaller than the holes in the mask. Let's find out if it is. And I researched for 3 days on that alone. You know it. I kept you updated.
Yes.
And I was looking for evidence against my idea, my theory.
Yeah.
I'm figuring COVID isn't big enough to go through the holes. I found all the evidence I needed to prove that COVID was 3 times the size, was 1/3 the size of a hole in a mask. So the hole in a mask is this big. COVID is the size of my thumb, passes right through it.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't looking to be right. I went out with the premise that I was wrong, and science proved me right. So I was critically thinking.
Yeah.
I was using my critical thinking skills. Okay, if I have an idea that this is true, go out and look for the evidence against it first. And all I did was hit evidence that confirmed what my idea was.
Yeah.
And I did a full podcast about just that. So yeah, I'm not looking to be proven right. I'm looking to be proven wrong, and I go out and look for how I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, you already know I'm the first one to admit it.
Yeah.
There were several times I was wrong and openly admitted it. But these people use their confirmation bias to judge and rule over everything.
Things have become steadily more mainstream and have done that without me moving at all.
You think people have come to you? They've come to you.
So basically,
No.
what has happened as...
Go ahead.
What happened was Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
Charlie Kirk influenced so many ultra-religious, pro-Trump household children because he appealed to them, and he was also taking on kids who didn't know how to debate. This is a guy who is 30 years old and still debating 18-year-olds who do not know how to use facts in a debate, let alone how to debate properly.
Yeah.
And Charlie Kirk debated on the premise that I'm right, you're wrong, and no matter what you say, I'm still right.
Yeah.
So they didn't exactly come to him. They were led to him because of right-wing extremism from people like Charlie Kirk and Tim Pool and everybody else who was associated with the Trump campaign and backing Trump. So, yeah.
Yeah.
As the whole zeitgeist of the official zeitgeist has moved steadily
What the fuck is a zeitgeist?
into more woke
The pulse of America. Like they assumed Charlie Kirk was the pulse. They assumed that Charlie Kirk was the pulse of America because he was visiting college campuses. He had long since gotten out of college. I think he actually dropped out, but I'm not sure. But he was 30 years old, arguing with 18-year-olds who hadn't even gone to college classes yet.
Yeah, well, when he was assassinated, he was 32, or actually one day shy of his 32nd birthday. And you're feeding directly into my. He's 30 years old, taking on an 18-year-old who doesn't know their dick from the dirt. Now, here's something that'll make you go WTF. His wife is 8 weeks pregnant, and she's trying to say that it
No,
was
she was 8 weeks pregnant, even though he died 10 weeks before she announced.
which has got some of the pundits going, well, if she was pregnant, it must not have been Charlie Kirk's kid.
Well, the math doesn't add up.
Yeah, someone said the
When
math.
she
The
announced
math.
it,
Yeah,
when she announced it, she said she was 8 weeks pregnant. Charlie Kirk was assassinated 10 weeks before that.
yes,
So unless she had his sperm collected, yeah, do the math, folks.
yeah. Well, this one pundit thinks that it might be JD Vance's.
Yeah, there's an endless stream of fucking wannabe fathers that they think it might be, but I don't pay attention to Jerry Springer level speculation on stupid shit.
Territory. A number of normies, as I called them earlier,
Normies.
looked at where that was going and said, I don't want to go there. And so maybe we ought to give that Wilson character a second look. He sounded pretty crazy 20 years ago, but I'm rethinking that.
And what are you
He was sounding pretty crazy 20 years ago. Anybody who was listening to this asshole 20 years ago, yes, he was fringe back then. But to bring up a show you brought up earlier, Ghost Hunters.
No, Ghost
was popular.
Adventures.
Same fucking deal. All these fringe shows were very popular back when he was making sense kind of the last time, and now he makes a lot more sense because they weren't because the newest generation, Gen Z, has not been properly educated because they think everything is on TikTok and everything needs to be in video form for them to absorb it. That most of them don't read books.
Yeah,
They're getting back into vinyl. They're getting into 8-tracks. They're getting into disposable cameras. Shit that died out back when I was in high school.
yeah. This guy right here owns his own printing company. It's called Canon Press.
At
And
least it's not Chick.
no, it's called Canon Press, and a lot of his books and stuff like that are sent to like religious schools or private Christian schools.
At least it's better than Chick. You remember Chick Publications? Those little books, those fanatically religious books.
yes, those tiny
Chick
little books.
Publications. Yes.
Yeah.
CHIC Publications. Yes, I memorized the fucking thing because when my daughter was in kindergarten, somebody dropped one on the sidewalk because they're worth less than toilet paper. In fact, they're only good for wiping your ass with because they're from a religious extremist, Chick, the guy who did that.
seeing happen in the Trump administration right now that reflects your Christian values?
The series of appointments in the federal judgeships that led to the overturning of Roe would be the central thing.
This guy has an IQ of 40, fucker. Oh my God. Go back 10 seconds, please. Jesus Christ.
That Wilson character a second look. He sounded pretty crazy 20 years ago, but I'm rethinking that.
And what are you seeing happen in the Trump administration right now that reflects your Christian values?
The series of appointments in the federal judgeships that led to the overturning of Roe would be the central thing. If
Okay, stop
our
right there.
church doesn't have a
Okay.
Where do I bite the leg at? Do I bite at the ankle, the knee, the thigh? the hamstring or the dick.
The dick.
He doesn't believe in abortion, period, because God doesn't sanctify it, even though God said nothing about abortion or gays or gay marriage or transgenderism. So my question is, Trump appointed Christian nationalists, if you will,
Yeah.
like Amy Coney Barrett, who has more children than she ever needed to have.
Yeah.
I don't see why she didn't just start pooping out kids in fucking middle school. That way she'd have all of her kids all grown up and shit by now. So he thinks it's a thing he thinks it's a religious, excuse me. He thinks it's a religious coup d'etat from God to have these people in the judiciary throwing away abortion because he
Yes.
doesn't like it. Now, I don't like abortion, but if I made it to the presidency, would I ban abortion? Fuck no. Make it available to everybody. I wouldn't restrict it. Because there's going to be a lot of fucking guys raping girls, and then those girls are like, "Well, I have to live with this." Well, the guy just skips along. Hey, I got her pregnant. I'm just going to go on and have my life and say fuck all that. I'm going to have a wife and a lot of other kids with a woman I want to fuck when I'm not drunk. I'm sorry. How the fuck does that work out?
Yeah, I know.
Like, it doesn't make sense. Gee,
Yeah. You're gonna love this next part. Next, he actually touches
I probably am.
Spire with the bell on it yet, but if we had the bell, that would have been when Dobbs came down. We would have been ringing it all day.
And you want to see Obergefell?
I want to see Obergefell go the same direction.
Obergefell is gay marriage
because it doesn't agree with his theology of Christianity. What did the Bible say about being gay or gay marriage?
The only thing I've ever read in the Bible about gay was in Leviticus, which was the Old Testament, which now no longer matters because we're living in New Testament times.
Again, what does the Bible say about gay marriage?
It doesn't.
Again, big fat goose egg, not one fucking word. And as a matter of fact, my niece has been helping me. Shout out to Josie. I won't say her name that I contacted her by because she has requested that nobody know about it. So I'm just going to call her Josie. She might see it on my YouTube, but I'm just going to refer to her as Josie. She and I have actually done some pretty deep dives where we spend a couple hours looking up stuff.
Yeah.
Before the King James Version existed, the Bible didn't refer to a man sleeping with a man as with a woman. It referred to sleeping with fucking children.
Yep.
As you would with a woman.
Yep.
So this bullshit, the Bible, no. The King James Version of the Bible is a masochistic, misogynistic fucking version of the Bible created to sate all guys because guys were the only ones allowed to vote. And back then, you had to have land and a certain amount of land to even fucking vote. So this bullshit of, I don't agree with gay marriage because it doesn't agree with my religion. Your religion is based on a false interpretation of the King James Version of the Bible because they totally train wrecked that version. I mean, hold on.
Pleased with.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, time for us to interject our own personal views on this one because he's stated his purpose on that issue. Now, are you okay with gay marriage?
Yes, because my oldest stepdaughter is lesbian.
And you
And
want to see her happy, right?
yes,
You want to see her happy with somebody who's happy to be with her, provided they
yes,
don't beat her or anything like that, right?
right.
So she has if she is gay or lesbian, as we want to call it nowadays, and she finds her other half who doesn't abuse her or do anything, they get married and have a nice long fucking marriage. You're all for it, right?
Yes,
Okay. No, I'm not trying to do an oh gotcha, you're fucking anti-gay or anything like that. It's standing up for the ones we love or care about enough to give a shit.
yes, correct.
Now, me, I have my oldest I don't know what the fuck she says she is, but she says she's like omnisexual or some shit. She is
Are you
attracted
talking
to other
about are
humans.
you talking about pansexual?
Pandemic, I don't know what the fuck. I haven't had contact with her in like what, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years,
Yeah.
something like that. I last had contact back when she was like 19 for like a week, and then she blocked me on Facebook. Yes, I've tried looking her up with my new account. I don't interfere with her life because when she's ready to come to the table, she'll come to the table. I'm that
Yeah.
kind of a dad. She's a fucking adult. She needs to deal with adult problems on her own. And if she says I didn't prepare her, no, you weren't fucking listening to me when I was raising you.
Yeah.
I raised you to question everything, even question me. And that's okay. I don't mind you questioning me. But don't, when she says that I groomed her for her abusers, like, don't ever say that. If I'd known the abuser was abusing you, he would have ended up in the digestive tract of my dog at the time, Delilah. Part wolf,
Yeah,
she'll chew anything and turn it into dust.
I
There
miss
will
her,
be
man.
no DNA evidence.
I miss Delilah, man.
Delilah was the best dog ever on earth. Like, people will say, oh, our dog is the best. Delilah was the best dog ever made. She was husky, shepherd, and wolf. And when I got done with my Thanksgiving dinner, I'd throw her to the carcass. I put the pan in front of her. She would gobble the whole thing down. There would be nothing left. The turkey carcass would be shit out over like 2 days. And it was powderized. So there was no DNA left to observe. Her body would chew through everything. I do miss her, but that's not the premise of the conversation. My oldest is a demi or pan or whatever the fuck sexual she is. I don't care. I just want her to be with somebody who's not abusive in any way. If she can have a relationship with another woman that lasts for decades, fuck, I'm for it. I don't care. If she gets with somebody who's transgender and they treat her appropriately, I am all for it. But my daughter made the decision of deciding that she was transgender herself, that she was not a binary. And from my perspective, it's like, well, God gave you tits and a vagina. Well, I don't care what between your ears doesn't agree with me. Like, you were born with a vagina, and when you became to maturity, you had tits and a vagina. Makes you a woman to me.
Yeah.
I'm not invoking God. I'm just saying nature decided that, not me.
Yeah.
What's between your ears, I can't control that.
Yeah, biology decided what she was born, male or female.
Yeah, and if she decides to go through with the entire transition and turn into a man, I will still love my child. I will still give an organ for her if she needs it. Even if she transfers to being a legally abiding male. Well, Dad, I need a kidney. All you had to do was say, I need a kidney, and boom, you got the bitch.
Yeah.
There's not even an argument. You already know that.
Mm-hmm.
There's not an argument. You need a kidney, fucking take one of mine. And my youngest, she's dealing with her own sexuality because she's young and coming of age. So I've supported her on her journey in discovering what she is. So for me, gay marriage is like, marriage is marriage. As long as you find somebody who's supportive and trustworthy and treats you right, I don't give a fuck if they have 2 dicks, 6 tits, and whatever.
Yeah.
It's who you're happy with and who doesn't abuse you.
Yeah.
So his stance is all wrong. Well, I don't agree with gay marriage. We don't care what you think. Problem is, more of us need to stand up and say that to his face. But let's keep going with this interview.
The naming of the fraudulent behavior that has overseeing the squandering of trillions of dollars. One of my old jokes was
squandering.
That, I'm opposed to chaplains praying at Congress.
Squandering
billions or trillions? What the fuck is he talking about?
On marriage licenses for gay people.
You're trying to invoke Kim Davies, aren't you? If you're in an elected position and you refuse to do your job because your religious conviction compels you to say no to something, then resign and let somebody else take over who can do the fucking job. Her job is not to judge people based on her religious conviction. I mean, this bitch has been married and divorced as many times as Trump has been.
Oh, yeah.
But she's telling my religious beliefs, my firmly held religious beliefs say I can't approve of their marriage. They're not paying you to exercise your religious belief over them. They're paying you to get a fucking piece of paper saying they can get married. You have no choice in that.
Yeah.
The Bible says not to turn a den of thieves into a house of prayer. Mm-hmm. And it's just the pillage that is going on there has been remarkable. And I'm just very gratified at the efforts of Doge and other things.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Go back 10 seconds.
Dollars. One of my old jokes was that I'm opposed to chaplains praying at Congress because the Bible says not to turn a den of thieves into a house of prayer. Mm-hmm. And it's just the pillage that is going on there is.
Okay.
Den of thieves in a house of prayer. Why does it sound familiar?
Because
Trump's a fucking grifter.
Yeah.
Trump doesn't care if you're in church or not. He is going to grift you and take your money because you think God wants him to be God's messenger. I got to go off camera for a second. Give me a second. I'm trying to figure this shit out real fast. Oh, I don't know. You could just stare at my wall for a second. But yeah. That's some deeply rooted bullshit. Do you not agree?
Yes, I agree with you.
Now, why do you agree? That's the important part.
When he talks about den of thieves, and he talks about the temple in Jerusalem where Jesus cast out the merchants from the temple, and he called them a den of thieves in the house of prayer.
And what is Trump doing? And what are all other pastors who are hardcore Republicans? What are they doing?
Same thing.
They're selling you shit in the house of God.
Mm-hmm.
If they were selling just the love of Christ and the acceptance of Christ, I could buy that. But they're not selling that. They're selling you everything but that.
Yep. And the new Trump healthcare plan is supposed to kick in once the Obamacare subsidies die.
And those Democrats who voted for the continuing resolution without guarantees of anything, I think you're going to see them exit office. Like, seriously, never serve again.
Now, I do know that when Marjorie Taylor Greene resigned, her last day in office is January 5th. At least 10 other Republicans are now contemplating doing the same thing she did. Resign, and their last day of office in office will be January 5th.
And they all need to do what the Democrats need to do, or any independent who feels they have a chance. They should start go. They should have started already going for office.
They are. Yeah, you have this. One of the seats that's now vacant in the House of Representatives was up for a special election, and this lady, who's a Democrat, who owns her own farm, ran for the vacant Tennessee seat because she was tired of the American farmers getting screwed by the federal government. And the special election was yesterday, I believe. I need to check on the election results for that to see who actually won. And Mitch McConnell's seat is up for grabs this year, next year, and the person running to fill his seat is an even more extreme MAGA than Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Because he wanted to make sure Republicans try to maintain control.
Yeah, and he's running for senator.
Well, let's get back to this kaleidoscope of stupidity then.
It's been remarkable, and I'm just very gratified at the efforts of Doge and other things like that to put a spotlight on those sorts of things.
And what about banning transgender military members?
Oh, that's great.
You think that's great?
That's absolutely great.
And gender
issues.
Gender
so
issues.
I'm, as I mentioned before the interview, I was in the submarine service, for example, and
You need to go back like
Whatever.
5 seconds. That was all gobbled out.
Yeah, he said submarine service. What was he doing? Slobbing somebody's knob?
about banning transgender military members?
oh, that's great.
You think that's great?
That's absolutely great.
And gender
Issues.
Gender
so
issues.
I'm, as I mentioned before the interview, I was in the submarine service, for example, and whatever idiot thought of putting women on submarines. Just,
well, what would you say to a female
This isn't the
submariner who's been doing the job and
1970s
kicking
anymore,
butt doing
idiot.
it?
I'd say, yeah, we don't want you down here kicking butt.
Why?
Oh, listen to what you just said there.
Idiot thought of putting women on submarines. Just,
Well, what would you say to a female submariner who's
I'd
been
say-
doing the
I
job
wanna hear
and
this.
kicking butt doing it?
I'd say, yeah, we don't want you down here kicking butt.
Why?
Because I went to sea a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
We were submerged for 2.5 months. All right. 2.5 months, let's say 130 guys in a submarine with 3 women on it. Okay. So let's put 130 horny sailors and 3 women and submerge them out in the middle of the Atlantic for 2.5 months. What could go wrong?
He's trying to say that a woman on a submarine is going to get shooped by the male submariners.
Because they can't control their primal urges. Whatever happened to being a respectful member of the United States military? Is it all scrubbed out the window just because something with tits and a vagina walked on board? They are paid to act in a professional fucking manner. Not to be this wild horse racing guy. Well, I need to get laid and this woman's here, so I'm going to rape her. I'm sorry, how does that not disqualify you from subservice? And for submarine service, you have to be an actual particular height. You cannot be 6 foot tall at all.
Mm-mm.
You have to be short.
Come on.
I see. What, about 5 foot, 5'2", something like that?
I think the limit is 5'6" the last time I looked it up.
You have a patriarchal view of how society should be.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. There's certain places that ought to be male only spaces, and combat is one of them. And being closed up in a submarine is another one. And so what it boils down to is that sort of thing. Egalitarianism has been the basic platform, and feminism is a subset of egalitarianism. And you can't split the difference on this sort of thing. So if you're going to have a submarine, you have to make a decision who's going to be on it, right? And either the secular egalitarian worldview will prevail, or a patriarchal Christian worldview will prevail, or a patriarchal Muslim view. Somebody's going to have.
No, he's splitting hairs on this shit.
What the fuck is egalitarianism?
I don't know, but he doesn't like it, so I'm all for it.
Bottom line, do you believe men and women are equal in society?
Well, they are in our society, but they're not equal in the world.
What do you mean by that?
Because men and women are different. They're just different. When I said I don't want women in combat, it's not an arbitrary rule. It's not like we want the women to stand on this side of the room and the men to stand on that side. There's certain things that men do better than women do. There's certain things that women do better than the men do. And I think we should let scripture and natural revelation tell us which is which. Men are good at smashing and breaking.
Okay, go ahead.
That is straight up bullshit. When you're in a combat situation, active fire in the trenches, and a woman has been combat trained, gone through the same shit the men have, and you're lifting a, let's say, 350-pound Marine. I have heard many stories from service members who said they saw this petite, like 5 foot nothing woman that they served with pick him up like a rag doll when all the other guys, we're talking guys that weigh more than him, try to pick the guy up and they can't. She just heaves him up over her shoulders and fucking goes.
Yeah.
And stating that, well, scripture should tell us, scripture doesn't tell us shit about what a woman can do physically. It tells us what the Old Testament tells us what they want us to know about women, that they should be subservient, punch out kids, keep up the home, and make sure they're religiously schooled. That's about it.
Yeah.
So this shit of letting scripture lead the way and whatever else he's talking about, well, women are inferior to men in all things. No, they're not. You know how many women have won Nobel Prizes?
Quite a few.
And one died because of her nuclear research into radioactive materials.
Madam Curie. Or Curie.
I would say that a guy would have puked and passed out and died before any of the research got to anybody useful.
Yeah.
She endured unimaginable fucking pain with her body breaking down because of radioactivity. Without her, we wouldn't know about radioactivity until probably much later.
Yeah.
Because guys are like, well, this is good enough, let it go. But let's continue hearing from Professor Crackabox.
Things. They're good at fighting. And when you have this egalitarian dogma that women and men have to be the same, what happens is it's like saying everybody has to be able to dunk the basketball. If you've got an egalitarian dogma that says everyone has to be able to dunk, the only thing you're going to wind up doing is lowering the net. And so consequently, you've got firemen. One of the things that Pete Hegseth has done is instead of making a regulation concerning the women, he just said, we're back to a uniform standard of fitness for going into certain avenues, certain places. And that de facto is going to exclude many of the women, right?
But do you think the underlying premise was what you're saying? Women shouldn't be in combat.
Correct.
Our viewers might hear that and think he wants to turn this into a totalitarian, patriarchal society. He wants to turn America into Gilead with handmaids.
Right.
What do you say to that?
What I want to do is keep women out of submarines, which is not totalitarianism.
That's one example.
Right. It's you've got to decide which way you're going to go. So, for example, when you send Bruno into shower with the junior high girls, and you force that on them, and you arrest parents who protest at the school board meeting, I would call that totalitarian. And what I'm trying to I'm not fond of quoting Vladimir Lenin positively, but he once said,
"Well, you're still doing it.
Who's doing what to whom?" So when someone says, "Oh, you're imposing on the woman who wants to be a fighter pilot or who wants to be a submariner, you're imposing on her," I say yes, but what you're doing is imposing on other people. You're imposing your worldview on other people. There's no way.
So you see it, they can't coexist.
There's no way that antithetical worldviews can exist without one imposing on the other.
Go ahead.
No, I was listening.
Oh, okay.
Why isn't it enough to have this community here in Moscow? You built this Christian community. Why isn't it enough to just live that way and let everyone else live the way they want in America?
Oh, we're happy to live that way as long as they let us, right? But it's not going to shake out that way.
What do you mean?
It's got to give at some point, right? So here's an example. The logic of egalitarianism means that our daughters are going to be drafted at some point to go fight in
Why not?
Stupid foreign war.
So you see the slippery slope.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
he sees it where he doesn't want the women to have to go through the same thing the men do.
Yeah,
he's okay with the men.
Yeah, he called it a stupid foreign war.
And why should our young men be fighting the same goddamn idiotic war?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a zero-sum game. If men have to register for selective service, why don't the women?
Well, in his America, women would not be in the military at all. In his America, women would not be on the combat lines. They would be probably some freaking nurse taking care of the wounded soldiers. In his America, if you're gay, you're going to be put to death. In his America, if you're a gay couple married, you don't exist to him. In his America, there will be no Pride Month or Pride parades.
Because he thinks that his worldview of the Bible should dictate everybody's.
And this happy sack of shit right here is with his churches are now influencing what's going on in our government, because our Secretary of Defense is going to one of his churches in Washington.
And expounding on male boundness. Now, here's the funny thing. If every member of our military is to pass these physical requirements for PT, you have to first test the top of the military.
Yeah. The generals, the admirals.
Who's the top of the military?
Oh, Captain Cankles.
Yep. Captain Cankles McFucktitties. The man can't even fucking jog. without being slapped in the face by one of his own tits. Or without his hairpiece trying to fucking fly off and become a member of the Second Coming. This guy eats Big Macs and Diet Cokes like it's raining from heaven.
Yeah,
But
he
yet
actually.
you're telling the military that all of you are required to do this, but exception with our president. And some of these guys haven't ran or done any exercising since the second Bush presidency.
Yeah.
And Hitler did the same fucking thing. Well, you need to do this and that and the other. You need to meet these physical requirements. And then after much bitching and moaning from the hierarchy of the military, they decided to drop it lower so that the older men didn't have to run 20 fucking miles a day to prove that they could still be combat ready.
Correct.
Kudos to history.
And I can't believe he actually freaking quoted Vladimir Lenin.
Because he's an
My entire
absolutist.
life.
But other people might say, well, there's a slippery slope with your view that women's rights are just gradually taken away, for example.
Sure, but the slippery slope that I'm talking about is the one that we're actually sliding down. So the thing
You don't think they're sliding down your slippery slope?
No, I don't.
That
Now,
people view.
I do believe. Let's put it this way: I do believe that there have been instantiations of Christianity in politics that have gone very badly. You know,
Like what?
Spanish Inquisition, or
Okay.
you know, there are things like that that I think, okay, that's
Dude.
no good, and we
Yeah.
What the fuck? Comparing the modern day military and political scene to the Spanish fucking Inquisition? Are you fucking serious?
I know. Good fucking God.
Like, dude, fucking get with the program. We don't live in the Spanish Inquisition anymore. We live in the Christian Inquisition, where if you're not white, rich, empowered, and a registered Republican voter, you don't count. That's what he's relying on.
Yeah.
Like I said, critical thinking skills.
should never do that again. I'm an advocate of Christendom, but the first Christendom had some warts, that had some things that we don't ever want to do again. So there are slippery slopes on the Christian side of things, and I think we should guard against those things. But right now, that's not anywhere close to being our central problem.
You basically think you're David and Goliath.
Yeah.
So over my shoulder right here, there is a poster of the cover of a book, and it says, "It's good to be a man."
Right.
What does that mean?
It means that this is that book is an argument that is a defensive reaction, defending young men who don't know who they are because they have been taught their entire life that white heterosexual males are cancerous. So masculinity is tagged as toxic
They
masculinity.
can be, if they can be bad if they're raised around toxic masculinity, like this fucking walking bag of turds suggests.
I like
This
that walking bag of turd.
This gray-haired walking bag of dick tips thinks that, well, if we let off on our
Yeah.
beliefs, that we'll be overtaken. This guy is a boomer. He thinks that men should be running every goddamn thing. He also thinks that women will let menopause take over their decision-making process even after menopause has occurred.
Yeah, and he thinks if you're a female on the submarine, for 2 months, something can happen between you and the other 30 some odd male submariners. Like, what the fuck, dude?
If a boy acts like a boy in school, we hit him on the head with a chemical rock. We don't, because we don't know how to discipline
Chemical
them.
rock?
We don't know how to make.
What the fuck is a chemical rock?
I don't know what a chemical rock is.
That's like asinine talking.
Yeah, asinine saying. Yeah, take it back 10 seconds.
are cancerous. So masculinity is tagged as toxic masculinity. If a boy acts like a boy in school, we hit him on the head with a chemical rock. We don't, because we don't know how to
look at the look her
them.
face. She goes,
We
rock?
don't know how to make boys stand up straight. We don't know how to make them work hard. We don't know how to train boys as boys who are going to become men. One of the books that I wrote was called Future Men, because boyhood should be aimed at manhood, and boys and girls are not the same, and so you have to train them. You have to train girls to be women, and you have to train boys to be men. And if you don't do that, and you spend your time attacking boys for masculine traits, they're gonna grow up to be pretty screwed up.
And right now, I mean, a lot of people believe that there's a masculinity crisis in the United States. Just when you look at the data of, school test scores, graduation rates, that kind of thing. Are you seeing
absolutely
more men be drawn to your church?
Yes.
Right now?
Yes. One of the things that is attractive to many of the people who have come here is that we're not apologetic about the masculinity that is present here. Now, neither are we apologetic.
We're not apologetic about the masculinity that is spreaded here.
I have a few questions, but let's keep going with this. I want to hear the explanation.
Apologetic for the femininity, but then as soon as you say masculinity, femininity, people say you're stereotyping. You're saying men are like this and women are like that, and I'd say, yep, we're stereotyping.
Rewind
Guilty.
5 seconds.
So what does that mean? What role do you
Is present here. Now, neither are we apologetic for the femininity, but then as soon as you say masculinity, femininity, people say you're stereotyping. You're saying men are like this and women are like that, and I'd say, yep, we're stereotyping. Guilty.
So what
We're stereotyping. Guilty.
Yeah, that's only him admitting what he already knows.
does that mean? What role do you think women play in society?
Women are the kind of people that people come out of.
So you just think
Wait, what?
That doesn't make any sense.
they're
Well-
meant to have babies. That's
well,
it. They're just a vessel.
No, it doesn't take any talent to simply reproduce biologically. The wife and mother, who is the
Doesn't
chief
take any
executive
effort.
of the home.
How many women a year die from giving birth?
I think quite a few. I'll go
Yeah,
back
I'm
10
just-
seconds.
I'm just I'm just like gobsmacked by this dumbass's view on society. Oh, women should be childbearing.
Yeah.
Where the fuck are you pooping out a kid, dipshit?
Men are like this and women are like that. And I'd say, yep, we're stereotyping. Guilty.
So what does that mean? What role do you think women play in society?
Women are the kind of people that people come out of.
Basically, he's saying women are
women
only,
are only meant to poop out kids.
yeah.
So you just think they're
Well-
meant to have babies. That's
well,
it. They're just a vessel.
No, it doesn't take any talent to simply reproduce biologically. The wife and mother, who is the chief executive of the home, is entrusted with 3 or 4 or 5 eternal souls.
I'm here as a working journalist and I'm a mom of 3.
Good for you.
Is that an issue
No.
for you?
And no, it's not automatically an issue.
So like in your view of a Christian nation, a Christian America, would this be acceptable that I'm here as a working mom in Idaho?
Sure. Wouldn't
Okay.
be.
Okay.
Sure. This is the thing.
That kind of threw him off for a minute, didn't it?
Oh, that more than threw him off. He had to actually put his guard up, and now he's going to try to backtrack everything he just said in a palatable way so that she doesn't think he's a total asshole. And he already sounds like an asshole to most of America. So there you go.
Yep.
Like, the level of stupidity here is just fucking insane. Well, they're the CEOs. If they're the CEOs, then why the fuck aren't they allowed to vote in your societal view? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the The CEO does makes all the decisions, right?
Yeah, well, the way he puts it, they're the CEO and executives of the children.
No, of the house. He said of the household, which means that by his own admission, he's admitting that women should not be making. Women shouldn't be making every decision, even though the religious right leaders want men to make all those decisions because, well, they're the white Christian males who are Republican who will vote how we want them to vote. That's whitewashing. When he talks about whitewashing, what we do, that's whitewashing right there, is it not?
Yes.
So then, how is he not playing the misogyny clause?
I totally agree with you, man.
I mean, it's insane. He's literally just like for most thinking adults, that conversation is already over because he thinks that women are there to have children and then make household decisions except for voting because he only wants white Christian Republican men voting and nobody else.
Yep.
So how's that work? How can you be for both or espouse both when you've clearly limited women's options in that space?
I'm going to rewind this just a little bit. And I believe he says they're the executive and CEO of the children. I'm going to rewind this.
You go ahead and do what you got to do, man.
No, it doesn't take any talent to simply reproduce biologically.
Okay,
That we're not apologetic about the masculinity that is present here. Now, neither are we apologetic for the femininity, but then as soon as you say masculinity, femininity, people say you're stereotyping. You're saying men are like this and women are like that. And I'd say, yep, we're stereotyping, guilty.
So what does that mean? What role do you think women play in society?
Women are the kind of people that people come out of.
So you just think they're meant to have babies. That's
well,
it. They're just a vessel.
No, it doesn't take any talent to simply reproduce biologically. The wife and mother, who is the chief executive of the home, is entrusted
Of the home.
3 or 4 or 5
Listen,
eternal souls.
I'm here as a
So see,
She's
it's not the family, it's the home.
yeah, and,
See, I
and
got you.
yeah, she's entrusted with the 3 or the 4 or the 5 of the eternal souls in the
No,
home.
that's him backtracking to make it seem more palatable for his religious followers. But he has literally said she's in control of the house, in control of the home. If she's in control of the home, then why doesn't she have the why? In his view, from his viewpoint, why isn't she in control? Considering she controls the household, she should control how the man votes, right?
Yeah.
the
And
working journalist.
he's not offering any repost to this.
Listen, I'm a mom of 3.
Good for you.
Is that an issue
No.
for you?
And no, it's not.
She said, I'm a working journalist and a mom of 3. He goes, good for you.
Look at his facial expression right there. He's trying not to roll his eyes too hard.
Yeah.
Automatically an issue.
So, like, in your view of a Christian nation, a Christian America, would this be acceptable that I'm here as a working mom in Idaho?
Sure. Wouldn't
Okay.
be.
Okay.
Sure. This is the thing. There's a difference between what's a sin and a crime.
He's sweating.
So in every society, there's certain things that
He's
you don't
verbally
like people
sweating.
do it.
He's psychologically sweating.
I see that.
He's trying
Right, it's crime.
to satiate her while not pissing off his right-wing people.
Yeah.
Like he is trying
Yes,
so
yeah.
hard, his brain is boiling, trying to think of how to backtrack this and make it palatable for her just not to fucking leave. Because he wants to espouse his views, but if he knows you can see on his face, if he takes it too far, she will straight up drop this interview and walk the fuck out.
Yep.
It's the
Because
law.
she is like one
Then there are
sentence
things-
away.
Yep.
Things that I would advise people not to do pastorally. It'd be a pastoral advice. It wouldn't be a law. It wouldn't be a rule. So for example, if you have women who are domestic, talented, educated, and high-powered, and I'm related to a number of those, right? So my wife has written 8 or 9 books, and my daughters have written books. Both my daughters have written books.
He's trying to change the subject.
Yeah.
He's trying to change the flow of subject and say that, oh, all these women in my life are successful, but they're still not me.
Yeah.
He's literally struggling to make that point of they're all successful, and my wife's an author. She's written several books.
My daughters have written
he's trying
books.
to make it, yeah, he's trying to make this palatable for the interviewer.
Has edited an English curriculum, English lit curriculum, and they are a mother of 5 and a mother of 8, and they are fully full tilt domestic, and they are high energy, talented people. I would say go team, go. That's wonderful.
No, that's bullshit.
At the same time,
I going against him. But let's listen to what his explanation.
I don't want to disparage women who want to spend their time in the home, just focusing. I don't want to backhand it or disparage it at all. I want to honor.
You just did.
I want to honor.
But you're
that.
comfortable with.
Okay. Yeah, I know he just did. Let's hear what she has to say.
Oh, I'm waiting.
Leaving the home and
Sure.
Okay. Sure. So I'm a woman sitting across from you. Do you view me as an equal?
Oh, equal what? Equal person? Absolutely.
As an equal person with equal rights.
Equal person. So equal person, equal equality of citizenship. I would say, well, if you're a citizen,
he's
then
stuttering.
there would be equality.
Yeah, because she said
he knows he's fucking up.
Yeah, because she said equal person, equal rights, and he gets equal citizen.
He is trying to equate certain things so that he doesn't get in trouble with a female audience. He's literally trying to backtrack it and make it palatable for the women in his life and her, so she doesn't walk out of the interview.
Yeah.
But yes, God has created in the first chapter of Genesis, male and female created he them. In the image of God, he created them. So man and woman complement one another and together represent the image of God. So, and that's,
But you don't believe husband and wife are equals.
Well, I don't think they have equal roles. So, but it's like asking which is more equal, the violin or the bow? I say the violin or the bow. They're one instrument. The violin and bow is one instrument.
Right, but from what I've read about you and your interviews, you have said that you believe the wife should be submissive to the husband, and therefore that wouldn't be equal if the wife is submissive to the husband.
Well, it wouldn't be.
He's stuttering.
Now he's backtracking. He's backtracking and stuttering like a bitch.
Bosses all the way up. And you make a distinction, as you ought to, between your equality with them as a human being and the fact that they happen to have authority over you in this job. Okay, so a person can say, my boss is my equal, as human beings are concerned. We should both have the right to a fair trial. We should both have the right to keep and bear arms. We should both have the right to free speech. But when I go into work, he has the right to tell me what to do, and I don't have the right to tell him what to do. So
that's a dynamic you see in marriage.
Yeah, within the confines of marriage, the husband is the head, the wife is submissive, his helpmeet. And when you enter into this,
how the fuck is she the CEO of the household? How the fuck is she the CEO of the household if she's supposed to be submissive to him? That makes no fucking sense.
Exactly.
And a believing
Let's keep
Christian
hearing this, Dribble.
Woman, both of whom want that arrangement.
Is the wife the property of the husband, essentially?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, you're right. You just said
the wife
she pretty much is.
As Paul says in Galatians 3:28, in Christ there's neither Jew nor Greek, slave or free, male or female. So in Christ, before God, worshiping God,
he's cherry picking Bible
equality between men and women.
Yes, he is.
But your view is, in the household, the dynamic between a husband and wife is one of where the wife is submissive to the husband. And what does that look like in practice? Can the wife say no to the husband?
under certain circumstances, she must say no to her husband. So,
Like what?
So, as I'm fond of telling our people, no human authority on earth is absolute. The civil authority is not absolute. It's a true authority, but it's not absolute. There are times when you disobey the magistrate. The authority of the church, pastors and elders, is true human authority, but it's not absolute. There are times when you should leave a church. The authority of a husband is a true authority. There are times when a wife should tell him respectfully to pound sand.
As you well know, there have been claims
Oh, I know.
that you
Yes.
have minimized or sort of brushed under the rug sexual abuse and violence.
Yes, there have been claims of that nature, and I would say, look at them go. Let them say what they say. It's simply false. So we
help the pedophile.
Notice they turned off her
I
mic?
conducted the marriage set.
Yeah.
Did you notice they turned off her mic when she mentioned pedophiles?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, this guy
there, they fucking muted her mic.
Yeah, this guy right here had this teacher in. He has a school. This guy right here has a school in Moscow. I think it was Lego school or something like that. And one of the teachers there was a convicted sex offender, and this guy was basically fired from the job, not by this guy, but by somebody else in the school, because he was touching the other children at the school. And this guy right here put him in basically picked him out a wife, put him with this wife, and this guy molested his 8-month-old son, and he confessed to the pastor what he had done, and he was arrested, and he was getting ready to go to prison. This guy right here, Doug Wilson, wrote a letter to the magistrate or the judge, whatever you want to call it, that this guy was a pillar of the community, and please find it in your heart to forgive him. Don't send him to prison. I need him. So they ended up putting this sex offender back in the home with his wife, where he had molested his 8-month-old son. And this guy told his probation officer, parole officer, I can't stay here. I'm getting those urges to do it again to my son. So they ended up actually putting him in a halfway house, where he's still at today. And this was like about 2 or 3 years ago. But that guy right there protected a pedophile that was,
and that's probably why they muted her mic.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going with this trivial dribble ceremony.
Shit. But I did do that. So, but I didn't set them up. I didn't arrange it for it. I didn't all the things you hear online that I did in that situation.
So why would you marry off a pedophile?
Because it was legal. He's a professing Christian. The woman he married understood his background, understood what she was getting into. I didn't arrange it. It was not an arranged marriage. It was not pressured. It was nothing like that.
Bullshit, you did, and you arranged it.
Basically, when one of the things that people don't realize is what pastors actually have to deal with. Pastors are helping people.
On homosexuality, I mean, the Bible talked about stoning as punishment.
Right.
Would you endorse punishing someone who is gay in the America you want to be living in?
This brings up another old controversy. King Asa in Israel and King Jehoshaphat, both in modern parlance, they both closed the bathhouses. They shut it down, and they exiled. They said, all done with that, and exiling homosexuals. And the scripture praises both men for doing that, which means that the requirement for the death penalty that does exist in Leviticus, that requirement was not a minimum penalty, but was a maximum penalty, because Scripture praises the kings who didn't execute the homosexuals.
No, he's
They just
cherry picking
shut the-
Bible verses. He's
Yeah,
cherry
you
picking
caught on to
Bible
that, too?
verses he's cherry picking them to be okay. We can forgive them as long as you put them in a different situation and let them be them. That's the problem.
Yeah, exiling him is the way he put it.
They move to a different community and keep doing it.
Yeah.
They just shut the party down. So there is latitude in the application of biblical law. There is latitude in how it's applied from Scripture.
But we don't
bottom line-
we don't live under biblical law. We live under fucking the Constitution.
He wants us to live under biblical law.
In which case he'd be in prison too. He'd be stoned to death.
Yeah.
You see any America and the America you want to be living in where homosexuals are punished?
I think that
because they've decided that they're, they want to live freely as a gay person.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, but that
Punished how?
when I first began ministering, well, just the
She looks
He is
disgusted with him.
backtracking. He is stuttering and backtracking so hard. He's trying to find a way out of this.
And if you look at her, she looks disgusted when she looks at him.
Oh, she is absolutely fucking disgusted. But she wants to push him to make a flaw, which he already has. He's stuttering and rolling his eyes. He's trying to do anything to backtrack out of this conversation.
Yes.
and how the Overton window is moved. When I first began ministering as a Christian minister, I was grown, an adult, and preaching the gospel. Sodomy was a felony in all 50 states. All 50. Now that, and I didn't begin.
And
And
how
the
old is
Supreme
this
Court
guy?
almost stepped in and overturned that because
No, my point, yeah.
there was the Lawrence ruling,
Correct.
and the
Hold
Supreme
on.
Court said that
Let me see. He's 72.
Wow, he's fucking old. So back when he served, it would have been back during Vietnam.
Yeah.
And he was raised under like the Billy Graham School of Religious Theology, apparently.
Yep.
Yeah, the whole thing, where we are where we are now. My point is that when I began ministering in 1977, in the late 70s and early 80s, and sodomy was a felony in all 50 states, that America of that day was not a totalitarian hellhole.
So you would like America to go back to that.
Yep.
And someone watching this might be like, you want to control behavior in the bedroom?
Well, yeah. Well, I have the advantage of having built my own house, and people like to say that liberals don't care what you do in your bedroom, but the state had opinions about how thick the sheetrock had to be in the bedroom, how far apart the sheetrock screws had to be, how big the window had to be for egress,
That's
and whether or
not
not I could take
liberals.
the mattress off the tag.
Oh my God.
What do you mean the
Okay, go ahead, brother. I just heard that's not liberals.
That's not liberal. They literally created. I'm a construction guy. I am a carpentry guy. Those limits were made so that if you put too many fucking nails or screws into sheetrock, it will weaken the sheetrock.
Yeah.
You put too many, then the sheetrock will crack if hit by enough weight or force to cause the whole thing to come down. Too few, it will fall off on its own. Well, they don't allow you to do this, this, and this, and this with the bed. No, that's manufacturers who decided that. As far as construction, that's not religious at all. They know, they actually tested this shit back in the day. and figured out if you put two fuse screws or nails, old school would be nails, that one gentle, like 1.2 earthquake, the whole sheet come down and kill you.
Mm-hmm.
If you put too many, the same earthquake would crack the whole fucking sheet and it would still come down and kill you.
Yep.
And because back in his day, when it happened, sheetrock and drywall was still made from asbestos.
Yeah, and he's also talking about he's wanting to see the laws from the 70s of sodomy, where sodomy was a crime. He wants to see
Yeah,
that
he wants
brought
to see
back
that
today.
reinstated. Yeah, I got that part. Give me a second. I have to go use the facilities. If you hear me, it's not my fault. But yeah, OSHA determined those standards for
Yeah.
people not to die in their own beds. Because they had so many incidences. There was a contractor in 1940s, I believe, who put 6 screws in an 8x4 sheet of sheetrock over somebody's bed because he didn't want to take it to the place. They got hit by a 2.1 earthquake or a 2.3 earthquake, and the sheetrock undid itself because back in those days it was just nails. It killed both the husband and the wife.
Wow.
OSHA sets those standards. And there are plenty of carpenters who would tell you if you use too many or too few screws, it will kill somebody. But him dictating, what is it, the size of the bed or how the sheets go, rewind it like 10 seconds and we can find out.
So you would like America to go back to that?
Yep.
And someone watching this might be like, you want to control behavior in the bedroom?
Well, yeah. Well, I have the advantage of having built my own house, and people like to say that liberals don't care what you do in your bedroom, but the state had opinions about how thick the sheetrock had to be in the bedroom, how far apart the sheetrock screws had to be, how big the window had to be for egress, and whether or not I could take the mattress off the tag. What do you mean the government doesn't care what happens in the bedroom?
If you take the mattress off the tag?
Yeah, taking the tag off the mattress.
I know what he was trying to say, but he said it ass backwards. And the egress to the window.
Yeah.
He makes no goddamn sense. Like he's living in the 1930s. Well, in order to have this kind of house, when he says he built a house and these state liberals,
No. What he was talking about liberals is he said a lot of liberals like to decide what can and cannot go on in the bedroom. And he said, but the state,
and because of those liberal state legislatures and OSHA, we actually figured out what works best. Do you think anybody's still building a house by 1930 standards?
No.
Hail to the no. We'd all still be using aluminum wiring, which is only used in older mobile homes now.
Yep.
Homes that are 70 or 80 years old still use aluminum wiring because guess what? We were still trying to come back from World War II.
Yep.
So this jacket, well, you got to have an egress to the bedroom window. What are you trying to do? Fuck your wife while she's holding onto the window? You didn't build your bedroom for fucking? Come on. You're literally stating there are certain things you can't do in the bedroom because the laws don't allow it. You can build a bedroom, a master bedroom for your house that exceeds OSHA and building standards that nobody will give a shit about because you built it so you can't hear or see anything. That's why they have window tinting. So if you decide to smash your wife into the fucking bedroom window without breaking it, and her tits are flat pan against the fucking window while you're fucking her, nobody has to see it. And it'll hold her weight.
And that's
yeah.
your sort of libertarian.
That's exactly it.
Your libertarian tendencies. But it sounds like
libertarian tendencies.
Your vision is from the writings of like R.J. Rushdoony, you know, who is a Christian Reconstructionist. Would you call yourself a Christian Reconstructionist?
Maybe small R Reconstruction. I was never a card-carrying member of that, but I read Rushdoony and I read Gary North and I read Bonson and learned an awful lot from them. But I never signed off on the entire project. But I
Why?
learned,
What part did you not sign off on?
oh, they were kind of an ornery lot and fighting with each other a lot, and I think some of the applications of Old Testament law were too wooden. Yeah, so I think that you have to budget for the fact that Christ came and transformed the world. So when Christ died, the Old Testament law was crucified with him, and the Old Testament law rose again from the dead with him, but rose again transformed.
And the family, the church, and the civil government buckets.
Whoa!
Where does the poor fit in?
Go ahead.
Rewind like 15 seconds.
Okay.
Too wooden. Yeah, so I think that you have to budget for the fact that Christ came and transformed the world. So when Christ died, the Old Testament law was crucified with him, and the Old Testament law rose again from the.
Yep. I caught that. When Christ died,
he's using Old Testament scripture to judge and dictate everything, but then says that when Christ came along, it washed all of it away. Then why are you using the Old fucking Testament?
Yeah, exactly.
Like literally, that's the whole fucking point. He washed it all away. You're still using it. You're cherry picking from it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not actually preaching the New Testament. You're still cherry picking the Old Testament to have an approved theology that you agree with.
Yep.
So let's hear what the rest of this gas bag says.
Dead with him, but rose again transformed.
And the family, the church, and the civil government buckets. Where does the poor fit in helping the poor and the needy and the most vulnerable? Would that be up to the church or the civil government?
It'd be up to families and the church, and I would say as a final safety net, the civil government.
Okay. Because I know R.J. Rushdoony, in many ways, he thought the church should take on that role.
Yes, but for example, in the Old Testament, the civil government, the gleaning laws, for example, where you left part of your field for the poor to glean and get sustenance. That's the sort of thing that the civil government could say, we want you to do that.
And you basically think
that's
the civil
bullshit.
government
He's saying the
should-
government can dictate. He's saying that government should dictate if you leave a portion of your crop for the poor.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
No. We've got a minute left on this. And remember I was telling you earlier about the shit he does with No Quarter November? I've got a couple of 3-minute videos I want to show you before we end this. And this, mind you, this
stay out of the business.
It's
of
this
the
guy
family
right
unit
here.
that you see as its
Him.
own sort of
The family
enterprise.
the family is the ministry of health, education, and welfare. The church is the ministry of grace and peace, or the ministry of word and sacrament. And the civil government is the ministry of justice.
Do you still believe what
He calls it the civil government, not the federal government.
you said back in the 90s, that there's a mutual affection between master and slave?
Yeah. Well, yes, it depends on which master and which slave you're talking about. Slavery was overseen and conducted by fallen human beings, and there were horrendous abuses. And there were also people who owned slaves who were decent human beings and didn't mistreat them.
But do you think by
He's okay. What the fuck?
He's excusing slavery.
So I see.
even saying that, that's minimizing the just sheer barbarity and brutality of using human beings based on the color of their skin as property?
Yeah, I think that system of chattel slavery was an unbiblical system, and I'm grateful it's gone.
Well, of course, because he didn't have to live through it.
Yep.
He didn't have to live through it. So, yeah, I guarantee if he was a slaveholder, he'd be arguing for slavery, too.
Yeah, this is the same guy And this is called No Quarter November. This is from 2023, I believe.
For 11 months out of the year, I'm notoriously timid, as cautious and as polite as a Southern Baptist raising funds for the ERLC. But the month of November is a time for taking no prisoners and for granting no quarter. If you think of my blog as a shotgun, this is the month when I saw off all my typical careful qualifications and blast away with a double-barreled shorty. Everything we do this month will be focused on one singular goal. We want to help you apocalypse-proof your family. Thank you, honey. But why should you listen to me about such things? Well, when it comes to culture war and culture building, we've been at this for half a century now, much longer than such things have been cool to talk about in the green room at G3. Like my parents taught me, a strong family isn't possible without quick, full, and honest confession of sin, without any wussy excuse making. And especially now, it's just as important not
Why are
to
they
repent
eating
of
challah
things that
bread?
aren't really sins.
What?
Why are they eating challah bread?
I don't know.
You know that's a Jewish or a Muslim bread, right?
Yeah, I think this video he's making fun of them.
I don't know.
Because lying is bad, and
Oh,
so is being a wuss.
He's gonna go grab Old Faithful. A flamethrower, really?
Stay tuned all month, because this November, each week we'll have a theme that will guide all our book and content giveaways as we help you get your own family prepped and resilient for the countless cultural curveballs that are just around the corner. We're going to be covering leadership and raising boys and gratitude and a whole lot more. It's November, so you better believe that we're here to give away a bunch of stuff. Lovely.
Wow, him burning signs. Wow. Burning standing cover.
Stick
Burning
around.
those things means
Time for
nothing.
pie.
That is the dumbest ad I've ever fucking seen. What was standing way the fuck out there? That was breathing, because it wasn't those signs. I think I just got made dumber by watching that.
Well, look at this shit. This is from last year.
Oh God, you're really not gonna fuck this up, are you?
Mr. Wilson talks about bridges.
God. Oh God, you're gonna ruin Mr. Rogers for me.
Well, hello there, neighbor. Welcome to No Quarter November.
Shows you exactly how
Neighbor.
insane he is.
So, for 11 months out of the year, I am nothing but a sweetheart, blanketing everything I do and say with careful qualification and gentle reason.
Right.
From December to October, you may have noticed that my prose is as winsome and inoffensive as room temperature bath water.
That's not room temperature bath water.
My
dipshit.
blog is as calm and well-behaved as the pandemic PCA. But in November, my neighborliness takes a different tone. November is the month where my subtlety, nuance, and qualifications go the way of ballots in Maricopa County or testosterone in the SBC. November is the month where my subtlety goes bye-bye. You know, I've been called all kinds of names, but I might be best known as a bridge builder. I do love building bridges. The thing about bridges is that every one of them is an invitation to people on the other side to come over and play. Some of those people might hate you. Some might just be simple or scared or naive. Some are enemies or trolls or federal agents who are best left under the bridge. Those are the ones who will try to steer and poison whatever you're doing if you let them come across. Every bridge could make you stronger,
White dudes
or
for
could
Harris.
destroy everything you want to defend and protect. I burned it all, but bridges, nothing burns quite like a bridge does.
And how is this not saying fuck you to all of America?
Happy November. Whatever you do this month, don't feed the trolls or the feds. Don't let them feed you. Don't take the bait. Don't play with fire, but burn whatever bridges you need to burn.
And half of that fake village is
and thanks
burning.
for being my neighbor. You can cross my bridge anytime you want, unless you're a fed.
And his sweater is on fire.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to hear any more of these videos.
Oh, this is the last one. This is the last one. This is for this year.
Keep on saying that, but
It is. This one's for this year.
Hey there. Happy November. Hang on. Well, welcome to November. I realize over the last 8 years, I've set certain expectations for November. Yeah. Last year, NQN7 was our biggest year ever, as a matter of fact. But now that the Ocho is here, we are planning to bust all of the records. Traffic, views, shares, likes, hates. Now, the most important
Hates.
word, however, is giveaways. So for all of November, Canon Press is going to be discounting or giving away as many books as they possibly can. For most of the year, as many of you know, I use a gentle and deft touch when I'm blogging.
Sure.
Kind of like a chiropractor at a senior center, or like a PCA minister trying to sneevel women into leadership. But in November, the approach changes.
Imagine a Viking in a warehouse with 2 axes, and the warehouse is full of pride pinatas. In short, I'm going to be choosing violence and mayhem, and I intend to enjoy myself.
This guy's never plunged a toilet in his life.
I know. At this point in the proceedings, I really ought to be burning something. I'm sorry to disappoint, but the year 2025 just got away from me. But maybe it's all for the best. You know, the winsome bros and the weepy hand wringers, they're going to assume that I've matured, tamed even, you know? Anyhow, stick around all month. The deals are going to get better and better as we go. And if you don't get all the rich content that you could, well, that's on you. Again.
It's working. Shh. He doesn't know we're in here.
Does this ever work for you? Of course it does.
Stop. No. Get off. Oh, shh.
And this is a guy you keep up.
No, I don't keep up with him. Yeah, I saw the interview which we just went over, and I thought he might be good to tear apart.
He's tearing himself apart with them fucking ads. But I'm gonna have to get off here because I have to get dinner. So,
All right. Well, you have a good night, bro. Let's go ahead and end this. What do you have planning coming to your channel this week or in the next few
I
weeks?
have no idea. I have to get caught up on all news tomorrow morning, or try to. I've been more concerned with celebrating Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I saw the big fat turkey that you were cooking.
Hey, it wasn't just a big fat turkey. It was a kick-ass turkey. But I'm gonna get off here because I got to get something to eat.
You have a good night, bro.